I feel like you have to have worked in an emergency department in order to truly understand the team dynamic in an emergency department. For example, people get mad at me all the time for saying my nurses. No one ever gets mad at me when I say my physicians, which is interesting. Um, my techs, whatever it may be, that is because we do belong to each other while we're at work. We are responsible for keeping each other safe. We are responsible for keeping the patients safe and keeping the patients alive. I feel like there's less of a hierarchy in the emergency department. Like we're all willing to step in and help each other when help is needed because again, we are the only department that can't deny patients, so the patients keep coming. Even if we're full, they continue to come. And sometimes they're very sick and we have no room and we have to figure it out. And for that reason, we are a team. And even the people I work with that don't necessarily like me as a person, and I'm not necessarily fond of them either, I like pretty much everyone I work with, but even those people, we work together as if none of that matters. Because if personal conflicts get in the way in the emergency department, it very quickly becomes obvious and it very quickly impacts patient care. So I feel like that is both the best and worst part of working in an emergency department because it is incredibly intimidating when you're joining the team, especially if, like me, you are the only of yourself joining the team. So I'm the only pharmacist in that emergency department, and I had to establish myself as the drug expert in the department, and that was incredibly intimidating because a lot of the nurses and physicians I work with weren't they were used to working with pharmacy, but they weren't used to working with pharmacy with such they weren't used to working with me. Um and it took time because my counterpart is not the same as me in how he approaches patient care, and that's fine. It works for him. But I will be in the room if it's something medication related. I will be there. And at first, there were instances where I would show up to the room because a patient was coming in for an overdose or low blood sugar or something that I knew medications might be needed right away. And I would stand in the doorway, not in the room, outside the room, so I'm not in the way, in the doorway, just listening to report, waiting to hear if I need to go grab something or what's going on. And in the beginning, there were several times where the nurse would be like, "Can I help you with something?" I'd be like, "No, I'm just waiting for the patient to arrive." Like, I think it took time for them to realize these are my patients just as much as they're your patients. Every single medication given in my emergency department has my license on it because I'm the one verifying the orders. So I need to know just as much about the patient as you do. I need to hear the report. I need to hear why they're here, especially if it's something medication related, because I will be involved in their care. So why would you not want me to hear the whole story in the beginning from EMS? There were a couple times where people would say, "Tell me to mind my business." I had that happen a few times, and I had to tell them, anything involving a medication is my business. If my license is on that order, it is my business. And again, it took some time, but now they all know me. I know all of them, and we work together great. And I love my colleagues in my emergency department. Again, I say my because that is how the relationship is, okay? We have been traumatized together. We have saved lives together. We have been assaulted together. We have been called every name in the book together, all while being underpaid, overworked, and, again, harassed at all times, especially women in healthcare. So, yeah, the emergency department team setting is incredibly intimidating if you're on the outside of it, and it is hard to break in. But once you're a part of that team, I know those people have my back at all times. I know they do. And the ones that don't, they at least work well with me because they know they need me to do their job. So